Joining us now, host of MSNBC's Politics Nation, president of the National Action Network, Reverend Al Sharpton is with us, and member of the New York Times editorial board, Mara Gay, joins us. And Mara, your recent New York Times op-ed is entitled, "On Homelessness, Mayor Eric Adams Needs a Little Religion." And in it, you write in part, quote, "For now, the most desperate scenes of the housing crisis are unfolding in public view. Children are sleeping in crowded subway cars. People are battling mental illness and drug addiction outside New York's most iconic landmarks and in its famous parks." Mr. Adams talks about street homelessness as though it were a moral failure and about the people experience it as though they were incapable of hearing him. That is not dignity. That is disgusting. Since Mr. Adams brought it up, the Christian thing would be to end homelessness. Instead of shuttling it out of sight, people experiencing homelessness are our neighbors, valuable members of this city who have the same human potential as anyone else. This is a problem a number of cities are facing.
It's a problem not only in New York, it's a problem all over the country. And I thought it was great op-ed, a challenging op-ed, because I'm one of those that are like, all right, Mr. Mayor, great, let's take care of homelessness. But of course, the Christ-like thing is not, as the Rev and I have said, not to allow homelessness, but it's also not to sweep it to the side. So I guess the question is, why can't the richest city in the richest country in the world build shelters and provide treatment that are suitable for our homeless?
The answer is we actually can do that. We're choosing not to because our policies are essentially tailored toward simply moving these people out of the way rather than actually getting them the help that they need and want and deserve. And so, yes, this is a much more complicated population than the 45,000 people living in New York City shelters. And in shelters across the country, many of those folks are working and the rent is just too high and they need some help with housing. This population who's out on the street, there's about 5,000, give or take, in New York City. They need really intensive mental health services, addiction services, social workers to come and help them and meet them where they're at. We can actually do all of those things. And then the other key is to get them into transitional and then permanent shelter that is safe, clean, private, and has the kind of wraparound services they need. So we actually do know the things that work. Right. And when we do those things, it does keep people off the street because there is a population that's even larger that is in permanent housing and is getting those services. So we know it works. But right now, our policies are not actually geared toward helping them. It's actually just getting them out of our sight.
Out of our sight.
And that's what's unchristian to me.
And of course, they'll come right back, Rev. So let's look at it, first of all, again, values-based. And we'll just say it here, because Maura's op-ed was written after going to a church service. But the Christian thing to do, the Christ-like thing to do, if you actually believe the red words in the Gospels, and instead of like turning it into Christian nationalism or something else that's not in the Gospels, but if you actually read the red letters, this is exactly what Jesus ordered Christians to do: to give a cup of water, to feed the hungry, to house the homeless, to help the least of these among us. And so, how do we do it? And why can't we do it in New York City?
No, when I read Amara's piece on Easter Sunday morning.
Did you pick up the phone? Did you call Eric?
No, I changed.
Did you call the mayor?
I changed my Easter message. I mean, then I text Eric because he's inside of COVID, and I think that something would resonate with him because he's a churchgoer. When you look at the scripture where Jesus said, you know, I was hungry and you didn't feed me, naked and you didn't clothe me, outdoors, homeless, and you didn't take me in, then what Jesus, when we celebrate in the resurrection, if we are just hiding the poor, not providing them with services, just get them out of my eyesight so I can go shopping without having to see this.
Right.
And that is as immoral and sinful as one could get.